welcome back on the channel. On today's video, we're going to have a very quick flip through of Hail Caesar rules, the second edition. We're not going to focus that much in the rules because the rules are known, but we're going to see how the book is structured, the beautiful illustrations, the new additions, and the new maybe armies and eras that are included. There is differences between Hail Caesar 1 and Hail Caesar 2, if we can call them like this, and I mention them in the comment section of the video below for those who are interested. So if we start scrolling, and we'll see this is the PDF version that I purchased recently. We have the typical contents for Hail Caesar. It's a quite big book, very big book, and a very nice a message from Rick Priestley. If you want to see an interview with Rick, I did on the channel a couple of years ago. You can watch it on the bottom of the video. I have it included in the attachments. So when you finish, you start with the book has brilliant photographs of these amazing armies, and you have a march of history where you start from different eras, ending with the Wars of the Roses that include the periods, the armies, beautiful photographs as you can see here, and very, very beautiful map. So you start from the Bronze Age, and you can see the Hittite Empire, the Egyptian kingdoms, and Babylonia, maps that can be used very easily, I think, for campaigns as well. And then you were included in, sub-periods and nice photographs. The next period, it's classical Greece, and a very beautiful map of Greece, and it describes you as a Persian Empire, and all the information you need, hoplite warfare, and very beautiful, beautiful armies, as you can see, for Greek hoplites, all the information, Persian wars, all the information of the era. The next period shown is Hellenistic era, where you have Greece and you have the modern day Turkey up to the Middle East, and all the kingdoms require and all the maps where the locations were. And then again you talk about Philip and Alexander and the wars of the other he, and all the information for this period. Then moving on, we have late Roman Republic, where you have the Roman Empire. Again, all the information and the maps with famous battles, and then the sub-eras of this period, and battles and armies and units. It's a complete presentation of an era. Next, you have the Dark Ages, another beautiful period, a lovely period, a period that I would like very much to wargame in the future. And again, the same layout with the locations and Bulgaria and the Byzantine Empire, and then obviously subdivisions of the period and discussions and analysis of each faction and army, including very beautiful photographs, Anglo-Saxons, Vikings invasion, Norman conquest. All these are included in this information that provided by the book. And the book ends with Wars of the Roses. This is a new edition, a very popular period. Many of you are gaming, and this is a very beautiful map of England showing the famous battles of the Wars of the Roses, the locations. Again, very easily can be used as a campaign map, in my opinion. And then describes the era and has some really, I'm gonna focus here a bit, some really interesting, beautiful photographs. Talks about famous battles, about Warwick, about Yorkist, about Richard III, as you can see. But let's zoom in, and you can see these beautiful miniatures, really beautiful units of crossbowmen, longbowmen with billmen, separate billmen, really, really beautiful from obviously Perry collection. Again, Warwick's division. It's really worth, this book is really worth it, although the rules are very similar, only for these beautiful, beautiful photographs that accompany it. And really, it's eye candy. It's really amazing, and makes you really want to collect and paint armies. And then you go to rules introduction, where you have the typical layout of the rules of Hail Caesar. I don't want to go into one by one. You have a discussion here, as you can see, about the army and how is a division of the army and how the army is divided, and Division 1, Division 2, this beautifully made with actual armies and miniatures. I think this looks very nice. Let's zoom in. It looks really beautiful. and it's very clear of the requirements of what is a Division 1, what is a Division 2, a commander, what types of units you may have. Then it goes and explains what is chariots, elephants, different types of units and the unit size and the fighting qualities, class, sustained, all these quite known attributes that are part of Hail Caesar rules. And you're talking about the casualty markers, all these, I'm going fast, the unit basing, commanders, all these are part of the previous book, but really very nice laid out. Now, this is a very nice new addition, this basing system that's very clear. Let's zoom in a bit. And you can see how the authors portray the different basing pike blocks, as you can see, cavalry, battle line, warband, heavy chariots, elephants, a normal infantry line, artillery, cavalry and skirmishers. All these are portrayed brilliantly in the book. And this is actually a new addition with this sketch. I think it looks really good, in my opinion. And all this type of sketches, this type of design is what the book follows for all examples. So we continue regarding the standard allowed for the formation size. We continue with beautiful, beautiful miniatures. Then you're talking about formations, the battle lines, again, beautiful divisions, war bands, pike blocks, squares. All these are explained in detail in this part. And then you go starting about flank and rear attacks and turning and all these movement division orders. And then you go to game rules. Now you prepare how to play. All these are explained. I think the layout is a bit better. I think it looks much better, measured distances, and then you go to commands and orders and how you give orders and how you test for success. It's the famous rolling of 2 dice, and if you're lower than your own commander's quality, you do 2 or 3 orders. Here is how you give orders to a division. Again, beautiful, beautiful miniatures accompanying the book, the photographs of miniatures. And then the famous blunders and initiative moves that are free. And then here's the blunder table, very interesting part of the rules that creates havoc. Another very beautiful photograph with the 100 Years' War, and still we're in the movement section of the book, and then we're talking about order and disorder, and then how you move units, the inches for every unit. All these are explained. The proximity rule, anything to do with the movement, is explained here. And as I told you, this style of graphics is kept for the rest of the book. And now after you finish with movement, you go to ranged attacks, where again it explains to you and shows you very beautiful examples of visibility and range, or different ranges, how you measure distances, how you nominate a target. All these part of the previous book, but I think better laid out and more beautiful to look. Really worth. I think I like PDF books rules. I usually buy PDF rules because I can, you see here I can do I can highlight things that are interesting, but then I can delete them and print it and have it properly there, looking good. So all this information about how many dice, the close and the long range, and the different dice for different sized units, and obviously the modifiers. These are typical rules that are part of the first book as well. Then you go to hand-to-hand combat, where again the similar layout. But this is, you see. Let's zoom in here. Very beautiful designs. Really explains you which is the main combat unit, which is the supporting units. I like this style of sketchy kind of design. Explains to you who is supporting, who is most supporting, who are shaken units, disorder units. We got a bit closer here now, but I want you to see the graphics. Charges, what is eligible charge, what is illegal charge, and how you align your units. All this, I like these graphics, as I said before. I think it gives a good example. Always it's nice to have rules that show graphics. You understand it better from just reading, because reading sometimes it's not enough to understand what exactly the author means, and then with layouts and with graphics and with arrows, it's much clearer to you, to the viewer and to the player. So we continue here with charging and explain to you charge 2-1 and all this information that you have before and all these graphics. It's really, really something that is missing from many rules. Graphics are very important. I would suggest all the rule writers to have graphics like this, to have sketches like this, that they will explain what they mean. And here we're at the table of hand-to-hand combat, depending unit sizes, die rolls, and modifiers, morale save, casualties, all these typical part of the previous book. As I said, the differences are in the comment section below. Again, positions for supports, another very interesting part of the rules that shows beautiful examples that make you understand much easier how rules work and how you move to support a unit, how support is done by skirmish troops, and obviously have beautiful photographs um, of units and of armies and of situations of battle. Break tests, end of combat round, and then you go to break tests. We know the break tests of Hail Caesar, the same as before, is quite interesting. I consider them very good because you have a lot of pushbacks and a lot of retreats with disorder, or hold your ground and retreat in good order. I like the break tests, either from ranged attacks or from hand-to-hand combat of Hail Caesar. I think it works really, really well, and of course, obviously, beautiful, beautiful photographs of miniatures and armies and units and retinues. Here we have some siege rules, if I'm not mistaken, and then the victorious units. It's talking about sweeping advance, um, with all the graphics, draws, open order draws, everything. And then you go to disorder. No, was not siege, my mistake. How when a unit becomes disorder, and all the rules for disorder, and then you go to commanders. Again, similar rules, typical. The only difference here I'm going to keep is you have two rules that are new. You have general advance and where is your carriage. These are new rules and actually very interesting. I would suggest you read them. Actually very helpful. Very helpful rule. General advance and where is your carriage is really, really good new part of the command section of the rules. So here is commanders joining combat, risk from shooting, risk from hand-to-hand combat, the same things you've seen in the previous, but still the layout and the way that's explained, and the beautiful photographs I think make it very interesting. And then you have victory and defeat, and explains to you broken divisions and how you win a battle. Then you go and say troop types. Troop types, it's quite good because you can create your own troops by all these informations you have. So if we go a bit closer here, so you have infantry, will explains to you all the characteristics, and then medium infantry. From all these you can create your own units in different eras. Light infantry. And then you go to skirmishers, then you go to cataphract cavalry and heavy cavalry, and from on and so forth, you get medium cavalry, and you get to more modern eras, and light cavalry of this is Stalin light cavalry, Persians. All this information, all these units are there with their attributes, their characteristics. You can use many of them to create your units if they're not included in this list. I think it's one of the very important things, the information given by the authors regarding all these units. You have also light artillery, medium artillery, and heavy artillery, but probably you can use for the 100 Years' War. And here, very, very beautiful Seleucid cataphracts. Very beautiful, I think. So we continue with all these units that are really, really helpful. And we reach at a point where we go to special rules. We know all the special rules that the Hail Caesar used to have. You have double-handed weapons, crossbows, capping at +5, drilled, eager. You have elephants. All these you see, I've marked some of them for the 100 Years' War. Elite, frenzied charge. You have lance, long spears, levy, marauders, marksmen. I go quite quickly now. Phalanx, all these are part of. Actually, I think they're copy-paste. I don't think there is anything different. Here you go to terrain, and explains to you terrain and how terrain works. Regarding rough ground, open ground, crossing a bridge, linear obstacles, rivers, all these are very well explained at the end. Again, very, very beautiful photographs, buildings of armies in possible terrain, all these explained very well. And then one-on-one games explains to you how you're setting up the game, and orders and markers. And here it's quite interesting. Let's see closer here. Quite interesting, where you have examples of reduced size, large, standard, small, and tiny. So you can have not the big size that is the standard, but you can have smaller units and portray large, standard, small unit, tiny, and skirmisher. So that's quite quite good, quite interesting. So we continue here, all this information, and you go setting up a game. All these we've seen before. I don't want to bore you. And you have scenarios, very nice scenarios that you have all the information here to play games with the scenarios, approaching the battle, all these very, very innovative scenarios, I have to say. Here's very, let's zoom in. This is very, very beautiful. Wars of the Roses. And then you have army lists. Now, this army lists are for different eras, but if we go very quickly, you've seen this before. You have examples of armies from different eras, Mauryan, Roman, as you can see here. You have also different troop types from quite a lot of eras. And special rules. But the addition is the medieval era, where you have a lot of special rules for. You've seen this in my video adapting Hail Caesar for 100 Years' War, where you have a lot of rules for the 100 Years' War. But basically, oh, that's very beautiful. Let's see it closer. Very beautiful Agincourt mounted knights from Perry Miniatures. But basically, it's Wars of the Roses section, although many rules can be used for the 100 Years' War. It's Wars of the Roses section with army lists and all details. And here you see army lists for the Wars of the Roses, billmen, composite units with billmen and longbowmen. It's quite easy to create units for the 100 Years' War from this army list. And then you go sieges and assault. That's another section that you have sieges. Very interesting rules, I would say. I really enjoyed reading them. Sieges explains to you how you assault, and the sieges and how you are fighting inside fortifications. Very, very interesting rules. I think I will try them, but I don't have any siege. And then rule summary. This is the most important part at the end, where you have all the rule summary. You can print this, and you have all the information without needing to go and refer back to the book. So, guys, this was a quick flip through of Hail Caesar 2 rules. I hope you enjoyed it. As I told you before, the difference between Hail Caesar, the original Hail Caesar, and Hail Caesar 2 are in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.